All right. Hi, everyone. I'm just checking the stuff in my background because I believe I'm live and just want to make sure that my microphone and everything is all good to go. So give me just one moment, everyone. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, all right. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, we are live. Okay. All right, guys. So today, hold on. Let me get myself together here. Today we are talking about the crypto market, looking at what's going on now and looking at the next cycle as well. I'll be doing other live streams, but I'm going to keep crypto live streams separate than from the other live streams I do, and I'll be doing a crypto market update once a month. And it'll usually be after a couple of days after the full moon. So just look out for that. And then other live streams that I plan on doing will be about just other geopolitical, astrological things, and maybe look into some people and so on and so forth. Okay. So just give me one moment, guys. I just want to make sure everything's set up here. And I made sure that I don't have to switch too many screens because last time I had a lot of issues doing that. Okay, great. All right, so let's get started. Oh, questions. I will take questions, but at only different intervals in this video because I'm trying to stay on track with what I'm doing, and it's very easy for me to get off topic. So, all right, so let's get started, everyone. All right. Okay, we're good here. Okay. All right, so this is a live stream, obviously. And I do want to preface that this is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own research. And this is just my personal analysis of what is going on in the market and what I am seeing based on the astrology. Okay. After I go through the crypto market stuff, I did look at some historical events that have happened with a couple of the outer planets, so I'll be going into that afterwards. Okay. Okay. So right now, this is the 9th through the 19th, through the end of this new moon cycle. Okay, I'm on the right page here. Okay, so right now is the 8th. The 9th, sorry, make sure my notes aren't all over the place. All right, so tomorrow is November 9th, Mercury stations retrograde. I do expect today's energies to be somewhat chaotic, a little, not so positive. It's also Sunday, it's the weekend, so trading is not as active on the weekends usually. But tomorrow with Mercury stationing retrograde, we can expect to have more of a challenged market. Mercury does represent trading, so things that have to do with trading to the technology behind it and other things could be part of the chaos with trading. But overall, Mercury retrograde usually gives a negative emotional sentiment to the market. Now that energy, excuse me, let me back up. Also on November 9th, we have Saturn trine to Lilith. Now this is positive, but Saturn is retrograde. Mercury is just stationing retrograde. So while this is a positive transit that's occurring, Mercury retrograde could overtake this positive transit. And because Saturn is also retrograde, it could, this transit might not manifest to what it could be, making the market move in a positive direction. But it could surprise us too, and it could overtake the Mercury retrograde. But Mercury retrograde, like I said, usually tends to bring negative emotional sentiment within the traders, and that does filtrate into the markets. On the 9th, also, Mars does trine Bitcoin's moon, and the sun does trine Bitcoin's Uranus. So these two transits could help the 9th with Mercury retrograde. It could have periods of positive momentum. But again, overall with Mercury retrograde, I do see this as this could be an overall negative emotional sentiment. Not to say that there will not be green candles in the market. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's going to be more of a challenging day. So let's move on to the 11th. The 10th, there's no transits happening. The November 10th could follow how the market moves on November the 9th. On November the 11th, it's a pretty important day. Jupiter stations retrograde. This one, I do see it as a bit more challenging than Mercury retrograde. And the reason is because Jupiter is at expansion, luck, abundance. With it going retrograde, it is expanding the opposite of abundance and luck and stuff like that. It's moving backwards, possibly retracing Bitcoin's price. Bitcoin came down to, I think it was $102,000 yesterday or towards the end of this week. We could be retracing back down towards those numbers. Again, I don't give out numbers, but it could be retracing back downwards. So again, between the 11th, the 9th and the 11th, I do expect have the overall emotional sentiment to be challenged, to be negative. That's not to say that there won't be any positive movement at all in the market. Saturn trine Lilith could give us a surprise, but overall, negative emotional sentiment. November the 13th, we have the sun sextile to Bitcoin Saturn. This is positive. This could help to help people have more of a, I want to say, positive outlook, lifting their spirits a bit more, finding the light at the end of the tunnel from the 9th and the 11th. So I do see the 13th as more of a positive day, especially with the sun sextile to Saturn. That usually produces positive market momentum. The 14th, we have the sun square Bitcoin's Neptune and Neptune sextile to Bitcoin's Jupiter. Okay, this is pretty powerful. Neptune does the most unexpected things in Bitcoin's chart. Now, I forgot to say this in the beginning, but when I'm talking about Bitcoin, I'm really talking about the overall market because Bitcoin is the Bitcoin dominance. So Neptune sextile Bitcoin's Jupiter, that's very positive. The sun square Bitcoin's Neptune. That is a transit that causes concern. What I'm trying to say is that this could be a very positive day or a very challenging day. With Neptune, it is surprising, and expect the unexpected with this. Transiting Neptune is retrograde as well, but that doesn't matter with Neptune. So there's these two important Neptune transits occurring. Expect the unexpected with this day. It's going to be strong market movement, positive or negative. I would like to say that, the transiting Neptune sextile to Bitcoin's Jupiter will overtake the market, and it could, but with Neptune, we don't know. So for the 14th, I'm going to say that large market movement on that day, positive or negative, but it's going to be large price, whether price goes, straight candles up, or it could be straight candles down. So that is the 9th through the 14th. Excuse me. Once I'm done with November, or once I get up to the full moon, if anyone has any questions, let's put them in the chat and I'll go over if you have any questions on what I'm going over now. Okay. November 16th and 17th, I do have this as positive. I don't know why I have it as positive. Give me a moment. Okay. So the 16th and the 17th, all transits are pointing positive. There's nothing challenging coming in to interfere with the market. And this is not to say that the market's going to explode and go up to $500,000. I'm just saying that there's nothing challenging the market, so the overall momentum will be positive. More green candles than red candles on this day. The 16th and 17th, November the 18th. Okay, so November 18th and the 19th, we could start to feel the influence of Uranus-Neptune sextile in the general transits charts. This sextile is positive, so we could expect to see this causing and influencing the market starting on the 18th and 19th in the positive way. But I do have my reservations about that. And that is because on the day that it happens, there's some things going on with Mars. And I'll get there. That's on the new moon. But 18th and 19th, we could see the market starting to pick up. Could be starting to be very positive. Uranus, Neptune, unexpected. They do things out of the blue. So the market could be moving on the 16th and 17th, showing positive greed. And on the 18th, or starting on the 18th or 19th, we could start to see the market possibly just start moving straight up. Possibly. Or if this transit causes the opposite to happen, we could see the market going straight down. But I do see this as this transit happens on the 20th, and I see the days before the 18th and 19th to show more positive signs in the market. On the transits on the 18th, it's a mix of fear and greed and volatility. Sun is conjunct to Neptune on November the 18th. This could cause volatility, and Mercury will be entering back into Scorpio. This is on November the 18th. So without Uranus-Neptune influence, this will be a volatile day, but Uranus and Neptune could be starting to influence this day and could be push and overriding any other transits going on. And like I said, it could be sudden, just positive upward trajectory, or it could be sudden downward trajectory. Large market movement expect to start around the 18th. Oops. November 19th, this day will be largely influenced by the new moon and Uranus-Neptune sextile. It's the day before the full moon. So, you know, I would like to say that it's going to this transit is going to influence with positive influence in the market. But because of Mars's square to the North Node, expect the unexpected, but large movement will likely be occurring starting on the 18th or the 19th, leading up to the 20th. And again, I wish I could say it's going to be good or bad, but it's just going to be strong market movement, and you'll have an idea of which way the market is going when you see the charts and the candles going either up or down. Okay, so that is the rest of this month up until the day before the new moon. Now, if anybody has any questions, I'll take them for just this part of the month. Let's see. Now, I do see comments about different coins. Now, I do plan on doing live streams about different coins. I'm waiting, honestly, I'm waiting till I do get monetized on my channel, because then we can just do different readings, you know, via donations and stuff like that. So right now I'm not talking about specific coins. I'm just talking about the overall general market. And that'll be in a different live stream as well. Okay. All right. So I know that there's a delay on my thing. So if any, oh, hold on, everybody. I think, no, I just realized I was not showing the rest of my screen. I have this on one page. My apologies, guys. I didn't realize that. Yeah. All right. So let me go back to, just give me one moment. I didn't realize that my screen was not changing. So give me a second. Yep. Okay. There we go. We're in the right window now. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right, so again, I know I'm on a bit of delay. I'm just going to go back just for a few moments so you guys can just see what transits are going on. And then if you go back and watch it, you can look at the transits that I have on the screen. So this screen is for the 9th through the 14th. Okay, hold on. Let me make this a little bigger, guys. Okay, let me make this a little bigger. Just give me one moment. Mercury retrograde is already causing a bit of technical difficulties. All right. All right. Okay. All right. So that should be better, I hope. Okay. All right. So we don't need a little question mark. Okay. That should be better for you guys to see. Okay. So this was the 9th through the 14th. These are the transits that are occurring. Again, just before I was not showing my screen with everything on there. So I'm going to go back and I'm just going to quickly go to the next page. These are the transits that are occurring through the 16th through the 19th. I did color code them. Green means positive, red means negative, orange is volatile. And this is the page for the 16th through the 19th. The 19th, excuse me. I apologize about that, guys. Okay, so let's move on. Okay. Can we expect positive outcome November 11th after correction on the 9th and the 10th? Let's go back to the 11th and see what's going on. So the 11th, I expect that to be challenging as well. That could be a mix of positive and negative. When I say challenging, it doesn't have to be red candles in the market all day. But Jupiter is going retrograde on that day. It happens at 11:41 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So I do expect this period, the 9th through the 11th, to be pretty challenged. Or if it's not all red candles going down, 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 I don't expect the market to have, say the price is at 100,000 Bitcoin. Just say, I'm not saying that's what it's going to be. I don't see the price having a price rise. Could be trading up and down, you know, moving up, moving down, but I don't see the market expanding and moving higher during this time. Positive outcomes. Okay, yeah. So I hope I answered that question. Is ISO 2022? You mean for the coins that have ISO? Okay, so if that November 20. Okay, so November 22nd is in the next cycle. So I'll keep that in mind as I'm talking. On 11/11, how will Jupiter retrograde affect the world? Oh, good question. You know, and I did that one. Let's look at that after I'm done with this, for the fact that it's going to be completely off topic and I'm going to go into a tangent. So let's look at that afterwards. Um, let's look at that afterwards. So, you know what? Let me write that down so I do not forget to do that. Just give me 1 second, guys. I should have had pen and paper next to me. But yeah, just give me 1 second to write that down. Okay. All right. So I got that question down. Okay. All right. Let me just get back to my screen. I tried to put things on the screen so I don't have to change my screen as often, because that's why I had issues last time. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. All right. That should be better. So, the new moon. I think that's all the questions, I think. For coins allowing bank transactions. Ah, thank you very much. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, J-Dog. All right. So, moving into the next cycle. So, in case you don't know, I look at the cycles for the crypto market from new moon to the next new moon, because the moon is a large influence on our emotions. Hence, it influences the traders and the markets. And I've also learned that it's just more accurate, I feel, looking at it from the new moon to the next new moon. So next new moon is on November the 20th. It's in Scorpio and at 1:46 a.m. And this is the day that Uranus is in a sextile to Neptune in the sign of Taurus. It's at 29 degrees. Let's take a look at the chart. Let me read what I wrote first here. So it could be an unexpected turn of events. Leading up to the moon could be positive. It's like I said, the 18th and 19th, the 2 days prior to this new moon. During this new moon, Mars will square the North Node, and the Sun and the Moon will be conjunct to Lilith. These are challenging. This could turn out to be a very challenging day in cycle, with Sun and unexpected turn of events causing cycle to go down, or maybe not the whole entire cycle, but have a downward turn at some point within the cycle. On the new moon in Bitcoin's chart, the North Node will sextile the Sun, and this, I believe, will be the saving grace for the market this cycle. The moon and the Sun are also square to Bitcoin's Venus, supporting unexpected value or turn and change in value for Bitcoin. So let me tell you what that means. Let me open up the chart too. Hold on. Okay, good. We got it here. Okay. So this is a chart of the new moon. This takes place on November the 20th, 1:46 a.m. This is Eastern Standard Time. Adjust your times accordingly if you live in different parts of the world or different time zones than this is in. Now, Neptune, 29 degrees, is sextile to Uranus right here at 29 degrees of Gemini. The 29 degrees is, they're both retrograde as well. So those are two things that make me feel that this isn't going to be the most positive transit for financial markets. 29 degrees is the ending, and they're both retrograde. So it's not moving in a forwards direction, getting ready to move to the next sign. They're retrograde. They're going back over these degrees that they have been at. Uranus was here in July of this year at around the 29 degree mark, and Neptune was around 29 degrees in March, at the end of March, right before the eclipse, or maybe it was during the eclipse. So it's going over some sensitive areas and periods within this year so far. Another reason I feel that this could not be as positive, and again, I could be completely incorrect in this, again, not financial advice, this is just what I am analyzing. Mars here is squaring to the North Node. Mars is in Sagittarius, 11 degrees, and it's squaring the North Node at 14 degrees of Pisces. Oh, also, we have the Sun and the Moon that are both opposite to Uranus. Sudden, unexpected turn of events. Mars squaring this North Node, challenging the direction, challenging the market's direction. Mars, in the past, with market crashes, Mars has been the catalyst to cause a crash. I'm not saying that this is going to be a disastrous crash on this day. What I am saying is I don't feel that this is going to cause an all-time high. And there could be a couple scenarios. The market could be going up, 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 especially the couple of days before this new moon, and then all of a sudden there's some sort of crash that occurs, or strong downturn in the market. That's one scenario. Or this could just turn out to be negative, especially with the Sun opposite to and the Moon opposite to Uranus. Something else that could occur would be that it is just positive and there is no negative downfall from this. But again, I feel like it's not going to be that one. I feel like it's going to be this transit is going to be challenging for the market. And regardless of which way it goes, it is going to cause strong price movement. Sudden change of price direction, or all of a sudden just the market moves, whether it's up or down. Just suddenly it just starts to run. That's how I see it for this new moon. Other thing that we have here is it's a kite in the chart. We have Jupiter coming into an opposition with Pluto. Now, Jupiter is retrograde, so it's going to be moving away from this. So it's not a strong kite pattern, but it's still there. It's still present. Pluto at the top, Jupiter at the bottom. Pluto at the top here is a concern because this is the planet that is having the strong effect. It's directing which way what is going, how it's going to go. Jupiter opposite to Pluto and Jupiter's retrograde. It could be that transforming the prices, retracing of the prices. This is another reason why I feel that this Uranus and Neptune sextile is not going to be a bull market run-up high. Again, that's my feeling, that's my thoughts. It could be completely the opposite. It could be fantastic. But what I'm seeing is I feel like this is going to be a challenge. The 20th, perhaps maybe we won't see the effects of it. Maybe it'll be the day before. Maybe it'll be the day afterwards. But I feel that this is going to cause a major market downturn in the prices. Or, let me rephrase that, major market movement of either upwards or downwards, but major market price movement during this time. And this could start on the 18th, the 19th, the 20th especially, and last through the 21st, 22nd. Yeah. Now, the saving grace here, again, for this is that during this new moon, North Node will be sextile to Bitcoin's sun. And that is exact in December. Right? Yes, it's exact in December. So that transit alone could be helping to maybe keep things positive, or possibly not allowing the market to go down as far as it could. If it is a downturn in the prices, it's going to be a very this transit on the 20th and the new moon on the 20th here is going to be very strong movement in the market. And I think that's as far as I want to say for that, because it could go either way. And you heard why I said and what I feel about it. The 21st through the 24th there. Wait, let me make sure you guys are seeing my screen here. Yeah, okay, you are. 21st to the 24th, it's mixed emotions. If the 20th turned out to be very positive, it could continue to rise. If the 20th turned out to not be positive and went in the opposite direction, it could continue to go down or have more of a negative sentiment in the market. And I say this because there is a very large mix of transits going on. The 21st, Sun is opposite to Uranus. That is challenging. But also on the 21st, Sun is trying to Neptune. So it's like the market's trying to find its footing again. Almost like it doesn't know which way to go. Does it want to go up? Does it want to go down? Because of the large mix of transits occurring along with Uranus and Neptune. On the 21st, Mercury is still retrograde, is conjunct to Lilith. When planets seem to be talking to Lilith, positive aspects could seem to have a positive direction, but when it's next to it or having a challenging aspect, it seems to be negative for the market. But again, I'm just going back and saying that there's just a lot of mixed signals between the 21st and the 24th. So back to the 20th, the 21st to the 24th could follow and echo what happened on the 20th of November from that full moon, because of this such a mix of transits that are occurring that have the ability to move the market up and down. But we're under this Uranus and Neptune sextile, so that will dictate the 21st through the 24th. To say that a little bit simpler is what happens on the 20th will, whether it's up or down, will that will be the momentum throughout from the 21st through the 24th of November after the full moon, the new moon, the new moon. November 25th through the 30th. What's going on? Okay, so we have, so the 21 to the 24th is going through I just need to backtrack in my own brain. 21 to the 24th, that's following the energies from the 20th, from that new moon. The 25th, we have Mercury squaring to Neptune. This is in Bitcoin's chart. We have the sun trine the moon in Bitcoin's chart again. This could be just a mix of fear and greed, regular market movement. More like in the morning time, it could begin with challenging momentum, and then towards more the end of the day, it could just turn to more of a positive momentum throughout the market. Just for the fact that Mercury squaring to Neptune happens early in the morning, and the sun trine Bitcoin's moon happens more towards the evening. So it just could be a split day of challenges in the morning and then becoming more positive towards the evening. The 26th is looking to be more positive, looking to be moving in more of a one direction, not just this confusion and volatility of not knowing which way it wants to go. That's because on the 27th, Saturn stations direct, and on the 29th, Mercury stations direct. So starting on the 26th, we could start to see the market have more of a positive, more momentum, positive emotions towards the market. Saturn direct, I feel, is going to really help clear up a lot of things that have happened previously since the new moon of this cycle, and actually also from all of November. Saturn rules Bitcoin's chart because Bitcoin has Saturn Capricorn at the ascendant. So with it going direct, this is a big deal for Bitcoin. This is good. This is positive. Hold on. The 26th, we're on the 20. Okay, sorry, we're on the 26th. And also on the 26th in Bitcoin's chart, Mercury sextiles to Saturn. So the 26th, in general transits, Venus trines to Saturn, Bitcoin's chart, Mercury trines to Bitcoin Saturn. So I do see the 26th as positive, enhanced by Saturn getting ready to station to move in a forward direction. 27th through the 30th, I did 27th, the 28th, and the 29th, I do show as positive. What did I say? 27th, 28th, I see as positive. Because Mercury goes direct on the 29th. We also have Venus opposite to Uranus, though, on the 29th. That could be a bit of a challenge. Yeah, that could be a bit of a challenge. Mercury going direct, that's great. It's wonderful. That could override the Venus opposite to Uranus. But it's coming out, it's stationing direct, it's still in its shadow, so it could be a little bit murky during this day as well. Okay. Let me re-say that again because I probably confused myself and everybody. The 27th, let's back up. Let's just back up from what we said. 26th, I see this as positive, being influenced by Saturn moving to retrograde on the 27th. 27th, I also see as positive. The 28th, Venus is next to Lilith. This could be positive or this could just be volatile, but with the influence of Saturn being direct, it could prove to be positive. The 29th, Mercury stations direct. This is also positive, but we also have Venus opposite to Uranus. Uranus is retrograde. Venus is not, but this is at 29 degrees. Okay, so on the 29th, it could be positive in the morning, but as the day goes on, it could just have a sudden turn and become negative with this Venus opposite to Uranus. Yes, that's what I'm going with. So in the morning, we could have positive. It could even still be volatile because Mercury moving direct, sometimes it takes a while for everything to clear up, but 29th, I see positive in the morning, but changing over to more of a negative, challenging as the day moves on. November the 30th, we have Venus trine to Neptune. That is very positive. Venus enters Sagittarius, and in Bitcoin's chart, we have Venus squaring Venus and Mars squaring to Bitcoin's Uranus. 30th, I see also as a bit of a challenge. Maybe early in the morning, I could be pretty positive because Venus trine to Neptune happens at 3:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But as the day moves on, I could see that tension will start to building, and it is going to be changing over to a more of a negative, challenged market, especially with Mars square Uranus. So on the 30th, we could have it, looking like it's going to be positive and it's going to keep going, but then all of a sudden it could just turn the market into just this negative downturn because of Mars squaring to Uranus and Venus squaring to Bitcoin's Venus. I hope that wasn't too confusing. I was confusing myself. December the 1st through the 7th. December the 4th is the full moon. Before that happens, December the 1st, there was not any transits happening. So whatever happens on November 30th, it will likely follow that momentum from the energies of the 30th. So if it was positive, it'll likely be positive. But if it's negative or ended negatively, it would likely carry over into the 1st of December. December the 2nd, we have Venus sextile to Pluto. That is positive. In Bitcoin's chart, we have Venus sextile to Bitcoin's Mercury. That's positive. So I do feel that the 2nd will be more of a positive day. On the 3rd, though, of December, we have Venus trine to Bitcoin's moon. That is also positive. But and that could stay actually positive all day. Towards the very, 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 very end of the day, excuse me, that's the 3rd, it could turn the market more negative because of Mars coming into a square with Bitcoin Saturn, and that happens on the 4th at 2:30 in the morning. So even though it's happening on the 4th, it could be influencing the end of the day on the 3rd. Mars squaring to Saturn. It's aggressive, it's challenging, and I feel like the 4th is going to be a challenging day. That's also the day of the full moon. Excuse me. So Bitcoin's chart, the Sun and Mars are both squared to Saturn. And the North Node is still sextile to Bitcoin Sun. In the general transits, the North Node is squaring to the Moon and the Sun. Let's take a look at this chart because I think that'll be more helpful. Okay. This is the full moon. This is general transits. This is December the 4th. This happens at 6:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time again. It's in Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini. Mercury is direct, so that is positive. We have Uranus coming to this opposition with Lilith. That happens a bit later in December. Mars is squaring to Saturn. Moon is opposite to Venus and Mars, and squaring the North Node. And so the Sun is squaring the North Node. Sun and Moon squaring to the North Node. This is another reason why this could be a challenged day. Yeah, that's all I have for that. I feel like this could be more of a challenge day because of that. Mars squaring to Saturn is also a challenge. Yeah, I feel like this could be more of a challenge this full moon. But let's look at Bitcoin's chart just to double check this. Okay. So on this full moon, we still have the North Node sextile to Bitcoin Sun. Now this is okay, wait, no. I'll come back to that afterwards. This is positive, okay? Just in general, this is positive. So again, this North Node sextile to Bitcoin Sun could be a bit of a saving grace. It is currently sextile to Bitcoin Sun as I'm making this video, and we can see the market's been having some challenges over the last week. So perhaps it might not be the saving grace during the full moon to make it positive. It might be overridden by the Sun and Moon in the general transits chart being squared to the North Node. In Bitcoin's chart, though, the sun and the moon are in positive aspects to Bitcoin's north node. And the sun, excuse me, is trying to the midhaven is trying to Bitcoin sun. Jeez. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at these charts here just to get an idea. Okay, so Mercury is also square to Bitcoin's Neptune on the day of the full moon. Oh, okay. The full moon, I do see this as it could be more of a challenge than positive. This happens on the 4th, 6th, 7th. I see this as more of a challenge. Excuse me. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I do. I'm sorry. I'm thinking right now as I'm looking at these charts. I do see the 4th as a challenge. What could happen is, though, on December 7th, the North Node will be in a sextile to Bitcoin's sun. This is 3 days after the full moon. If it was 2 days after the full moon, I would say that this could have an influence on this full moon. But because it's 3 days afterwards, I feel like it's not going to have as much of an influence on this full moon. So I see this full moon as challenging overall on December the 4th. It's in Gemini, though. Hold on, let me just go back to looking at the general transits chart here. Okay. The ruler of this moon is Mercury. Mercury is trine to Jupiter, to Saturn, but it's opposite to Uranus. It's trine to Neptune, and it's next to Lilith. Give me a minute, guys. I'm just sitting here analyzing. I've never done this live, so sometimes I just have to sit here and look at the charts and think for a moment. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I do see this as more of a challenge. This full moon, I do. Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. December 5th, though, the sun is squaring to the North Node in the general charts, and Mars is sextile to Neptune. Okay. They happen pretty close. Mars sextile to Neptune happens at almost 3 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Sun squares the North Node at about 6 o'clock in the morning. We also have Mars trine Chiron, Mercury trine Jupiter. And the sun. The 5th could be more a positive day because of the positive transits going on. Sun squaring to the North Node in the general transits charts could be an interruption to that. What I will say about the 5th is it could also, what happens on December the 4th on the full moon, it could flow into the 5th as well. Volatile, possible greed with a sharp drop, then recovery. Okay, so I did write a note, volatile, greed, possible greed with sharp drop, then recovery. And I'm writing that, I wrote that because of Sun square the North Node. These other positive transits going on. it could cause a sudden downturn, but then with Mars sextile to Bitcoin's Neptune, it could cause this nice recovery and bring the prices back up and keep them in the positive zone on the 5th. The 5th will also be influenced by the North Node sextile to Bitcoin's Sun. So whatever if there are any challenges on the 5th, they will be quickly cleared up by the influence of December the 7th. December the 6th, I do see that as positive, and December the 7th, I also see it as a very positive day with the North Node sextile to Bitcoin's Sun. Very, very positive. So just to recap real quick, the 4th through the 4th and the 5th, those could be a bit challenging. By the 6th, though, if it's not challenging during those 2 days, it will clear up. The 6th, 7th, possibly the 8th will be very positive days for the market. Okay. December 8th through the 14th. December 8th, early in the morning, greed from the day before. Very positive. On December 8th, though, we also have Mars squaring to Saturn. This is very challenging. Okay, excuse me. All right, December 4th, Mars was squaring to Bitcoin Saturn. In December, on December 8th, in the general charts, Mars is squaring to Saturn. Challenging. This is just challenging. I feel that this is going to be a very challenged day, especially also because on December the 9th, Uranus is opposite to Lilith. That is even more challenging. This transit on December the 9th will likely influence December the 8th. So Mars squaring Saturn, that's challenging. Negative. Uranus opposite to Lilith could add on to the challenges on the 8th. 8th and 9th, I see that to be very, very, very challenging days for the market. And that's in the general transits chart. This transit, this transit could last for a couple of days. On December the 10th, Neptune does go direct, and that could be positive for the market. That could help to clear some things up, to clear up some confusion that's been occurring within the world that's affecting the markets. Uranus opposite to Lilith. I see this having a long duration influence, and this could, whatever happens around the 8th and 9th in the world, will likely spill over into the market, and I could see it lasting through to the 11th. Possibly even the 11th and the 12th. I keep switching pages. Yeah. December 8th, starting December 8th, even the 7th, this Uranus opposite Lilith could have an influence. So start a lookout on December the 8th for the market to possibly have a turn. And I know I said this North Node sextile to Lilith, sextile to Bitcoin's Sun is very positive, and it is. Evening of the 7th, but more on the 8th, look for the market to start to becoming more negative and challenged. And I really feel that this Uranus opposite Lilith will be more challenging than we even are anticipating. Market crash. That depends on what happens in the world. It depends on world influences on the market. Uranus, sudden disruption. It's in Taurus. Lilith is like this almost wanting to vengeful. I could see this as more of a and it's in Scorpio. Oh, maybe something possibly with banks, finances, not the markets, but something with the finances of, I don't want to say countries. Could be countries, could be currencies that are having some issues, causing like this tidal wave of market downturn. Tariffs. I see this with the financial sector of the world, of events within finances that could be causing the issue. It could also be people protesting or fighting back against forces that they feel like they need to not get revenge, but they need to right the wrongs of things that have happened anywhere around the world. Some kind of information could be revealed, exposed, released, leaked, and people get very mad and upset about it, and they want to get back at the people who have done these wrongs. Something like that could also occur. It could be countries, could be groups of people, or it could even be financial with banks, something. And because Uranus is in Taurus, it could also be earth events, earthquakes, volcanoes that happen that causes to have financial issues. Yeah. Maybe governments don't send aid somewhere, and the people who need this aid are standing up and fighting and causing chaos. Okay, enough about that. All right, so that was the 9th. And I said I feel like this is going to leak and go into the 11th and the 12th. So I feel like the 8th through the 12th could be more of a challenging energies within the market. The 13th seems to be like it could be clearing up for that day, for just that day. Because Mercury sextiling to Pluto and Mercury sextiling to Mercury in Bitcoin's chart. Positive for trading, very positive. Maybe people are investing because the prices are low to make a profit. Or from Uranus opposite Lilith, if it is something with finances and banks, maybe the dollar is devalued further. And that could be causing people to invest more into the crypto market. Or commodities. The 14th, we have Mars squaring to Neptune. This, I feel, is very challenging. Mars, Neptune, both at 29 degrees. Neptune is direct, though, but it's still very challenging. That's in the general transits. And we also have Sun sextile to Neptune in the general transits with the moon. And okay. This could be like the Mars squaring to Neptune could be like a sudden fall, sudden negative in the market, and then there's like this sudden turnaround, because with the Sun sextile to Neptune, that is positive, unexpected surprises for the market. Maybe like a flash crash on the 14th earlier in the morning, and then all of a sudden it rebounds and comes back, the prices, especially with the Sun sextile to Neptune. But I do have to put out a warning out for that one with the Sun sextile Neptune. Neptune does the most unexpected things. So while I'm saying that, maybe like a flash crash in the morning and then positive in the evening, it could be the opposite. It could be positive in the morning and then maybe a flash crash or something happens negatively during the Sun sextile to Neptune. When there are Neptune transits or planets transiting or talking to Bitcoin's Neptune, always expect the unexpected. So the 14th, I would say that is another large day for, large market movement. Unexpected, it could be as well. Okay. We're almost at the end here. Excuse me, I'm sorry. All right, so that's the 14th. Coming to the last couple of days in this month. 15th to the 17th, large market movement. Again, Neptune starting on the 14th seems to be a trend in the transits, dominant in the transits. Neptune will trine Lilith on the 15th. This could be very, very positive for the markets. And on the 16th, Lilith will trine to a sextile to Bitcoin's Neptune. 15th to the 17th, I see this as very positive period for the market. Very positive. 15th, 14th. Maybe even starting in the evening of the 14th, we could start, if there was issues on the 14th, challenges on the 14th, by the evening, I could see that as turning around with the influence of Neptune sextile to Bitcoin's Jupiter and Neptune trine to Lilith on the 15th. This will likely last 2 to 3 days after these transits happen as well, and that'll take us to the very end of the cycle, which I do see as overall positive market momentum. The only challenge on the 17th that could be just for a little bit of time is Venus is squaring to Bitcoin Saturn. So on the 17th, we could have some challenges in the late evening. And yeah, that's all. And that is the forecast for now through the end of the next cycle. I'm going to have to come back and revisit this because I know that as things unfold and events unfold, sometimes things change in the market. So I will come back and revisit this just to see if what I've said is true, correct, and if things are changing, if there has to be other adjustments to this forecast. But for now, this is my forecast. Mercury is also retrograde, so sometimes it causes some chaos and confusion. I would like to also look at the USA chart, see what's happening with that, and that will be in my next live stream. Okay. So let's see if there's any questions with that so far, and then we'll move to some other global events here. Okay. You think the button is in for now? I don't. Do you think the button is in for now? Our riser for BTC. I don't the button. Oh, do you mean the bottom? I think you meant the bottom. I don't know. It seems like it could be, but I don't think we're gonna know that until we come into this next new moon, just because of the uncertainty with the Uranus and Uranus-Neptune sextile. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it could be. It seems like it could be the bottom, but I don't think so. And I also with Jupiter going retrograde and Mercury going retrograde, I don't think we're at the bottom. Something that will have a direct influence of this market will be the Supreme Court case on the tariffs. I don't know the date of that, but their ruling will directly influence the direction of the market, because we've seen this starting back in April 4th or the 2nd of this year, where it completely tanked the markets. That will have a direct influence, and that will be able to guide us on where the market is moving. Okay. Not, we are in a bear market. Oh, okay. If not, we're in a bear market. Maybe up 16 until November 22nd. Then okay. So I'm sorry, our advisor. You're saying that If it doesn't go to 116 by the 22nd, then we are in a bear market. Is that what you're saying?
Or with TA, maybe. It depends. You gotta break itself down right.
Okay. It's now okay, I got you. Make or break time. Yeah, I do agree with that. And especially because usually in the beginning of the year, in like January, usually the market has a usually is negative. Something usually happens where the market seems to go down. So yeah, if these transits do not push these prices up, whether it's Neptune trine Lilith or Uranus sextile Neptune, yeah, we could be at the end of our entering maybe into a bearish market. Okay, so let's move on to Uranus Neptune sextile. Before I move on, I do offer I do offer astrology readings. So if anybody is interested, my link and everything is up here. Let me move this. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation that we talk about what you're interested in. If you want just a personal astrology reading, if you're looking about some things in your life that maybe you're having some challenges with, good things too, but usually when people come for astrology readings, they're trying to understand different parts of their lives. So if you'd like to come have an astrology reading for that, or if there is a coin that you want to look at, you can make a reading for that as well. Again, it's the 15-minute consultation that I do at first to see what you're looking for. Or if you're trying to look at your own trading strategy for where the planets are, what's a good time for you to do things with trading, I also do that as well. Again, same link, free 15-minute consultation, just so I know what you're looking for. I also do I also am a crypto consultant, and if you have issues, technical issues with wallets or anything else related to crypto, technically speaking, I can help you with that. Or if you're looking to do anything else that you need help with in the crypto space, I can assist you with that. Same link, make a 15-minute consultation. I found that everybody's situation is different. So even if you're not sure if I can help you, just schedule that free consultation. And if I can, I'll tell you I can help you. If I can't, then I will obviously tell you I won't. Free consultation, so. Okay. Moving on. Actually, also, before I move on, if there's any topics that you're interested in, not with the crypto market, with astrology, maybe looking at kings or queens or different countries or something, leave it in the comments, because then it'll give me ideas to look at different things. You know, there's so much change going on in the world. I feel like that there's just so many shifts that are occurring in so many different parts and places of lives that there's many things that are interesting, and your ideas would be helpful to look at some of those things. Okay, now we're moving on. Okay. Okay. So I did look up Uranus sextile Neptune, and to see historically what has happened in the past. This transit happened when Uranus was in Taurus and Neptune was in Pisces from 1851 to 1856. They move slowly, they go retrograde, so they move back and forth, so they crisscross. And 51 to 56, 1851 to 56, this happened. Financially, this was a period it was like the calm before the storm with market crashes. There was, let's see, let me read my notes here, okay? So 1850, we're in 1851. So there was government debt from the Crimean War from 1853 to 1856. Rising food and commodity prices, which is very similar to now with the rising food prices, that is occurring. Mid-50s, there were some subtle warning signs that will culminate for the Panic of 1857. Now, I think this is one very important because we are in large bubbles of many things in, with credit, with debt, with, I don't know, housing market, maybe, perhaps. But we're in this bubble of bubbles of things. So this Saturn, Neptune sextile Uranus could be the calm before the storm of possibly a financial crash, maybe that's coming up, another crash, excuse me, that could be coming up, maybe in the coming next year, possibly. The panic began in the U.S. due to overextension of the railroads and speculation. Okay. Gold, though, there was the gold rush during this time, and we can see that prices have been rising. Silver as well, but gold has been rising significantly. This could be signaling that gold will continue to rise the prices. There was new gold discovery, was the gold rush, so maybe there'll be new gold deposits discovered. But the price, I feel, is the main key there, that gold discoveries, this gold rush, I feel like we're having a gold rush of sorts during this time as well. Railroads, let's see, speculation and idealism. Railroad stocks, colonial ventures, and banking innovation. This seems to also mirror the innovations of banking, of finances. We have crypto, we have countries changing their finances to the blockchain, whether it's a CBDC, whether they call it a CBDC, whatever they're calling it. But the stock market is getting ready to move their stocks, maybe not all their stocks, but a lot of stocks, onto a blockchain system. England, I know, is getting ready to move their finances. I believe they're getting ready to move their finances over to a blockchain, or move their finances over onto the blockchain. I believe they're in the talks about it. Other countries as well are getting ready to move their fiat money into digital money. This is a big deal. During this time, the banking. Let me change my page. There was banking. New banks came into fruition as well during this time. I believe the Federal 1856, was that when the Federal Reserve? Okay, emerging global finance, London, Paris, New York, linked credit through trade. But there was also an overextension of lending leading to the 1857 crash. Now, we can see in these financial markets, and we can actually even see in the United States, the government shutdown that we're going through now. This overextension of finances, not trying to figure out how to figure out the finances of the United States. But overextension of finances is a lot. Most countries, I would say, are in debt to an extent. Of borrowing, wars that are going on, borrowing money, reevaluating the value of money. And then with the countries changing over their systems of money, new financial systems, excuse me. I believe that if this year we don't see a lot of countries moving their finances over to blockchain, and that could be any blockchain. I have my theories and I have my thoughts about this. I know XRP is one that is already being used for inter-country finances. Changing your finances, changing your country's finances, moving finances to a blockchain, to digital, will likely cause a disruption. No matter how smoothly that they think it's going to go, it will cause a disruption. People will feel panicked, unsure of how to go, which way, how do I do blockchain? How do I do crypto, especially if they've never done it before? But I do feel that I do feel that we are our financial systems, if they're not changed this year, will be changing next year. And I do say that because of some things that line up with from happened in 1856. But I say that more because the outer planets will be back into their new signs that they're staying in. You know, Neptune has gone retrograde. Saturn's gone retrograde. They're back in Pisces. Saturn and Neptune will be in Aries for however, many. Neptune for 14 years, Saturn for 2.5 years. But they'll be there. Uranus will be back into Gemini. And Pluto is in Aquarius. But the Saturn, Neptune, especially in Aries at 0 degrees, I feel like that is going to be the start of a new financial currency systems when countries do change over their finances. I feel like that's going to be the real start of it. Yeah, and that's it. I was looking up Jupiter and Chiron because I thought it had something to do with the 1857 crash, but it did not. And I did run out of time doing my research. So I think that's going to be it for all the information that I have today. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I can take some. I'm just reading on ACHR stock. Tetris City Productions. What's ACHR stock? Or what's the name of the ACR? What is that name? You're welcome, R. Reezer. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your names incorrectly. How would you rate the phase of November 22nd? Perhaps 1 to 10 would be the best bullish trend and the worst possible one. November 20 up to November 22nd. 1 to 10. I would change. I don't know, actually, just for the fact that there's so much unpredictability with it. I feel like if I would change your scale, I would say from 1 to 10, meaning is there going to be a lot of market movement to, nothing's going to happen? I would say at 10, yes. There's going to be some strong market price movement up or down, but I cannot give a 1 to 10 on the bullish or bear trend for that. We'll know once the 20th, as we get towards the new moon, it occurs. Archer Aviation. Okay. All right. Well, like I said, yeah. Okay, Archer Aviation. Okay. Well, if I will be doing, like I said, I'm waiting to get my channel monetized, because then people can send, chat and you could see it on the screen, and then I could actually do readings as well on different coins. But I do have Cash App and a tip jar, so maybe I will set that up for the next time to do that. Okay, well, I thank you guys for tuning in. I hope I stayed on track as much as possible today. I really tried. Last time didn't work out too well. I will keep you guys posted of when I'm doing crypto live stream again. Like I said, I'll be doing this type of thing, looking at the cycle once a month for cryptos, and then other live streams for other astrological global events. If I do feel like I need to come back and take a look and relook at the crypto market, I'll obviously do a live stream for that too. So I'm just trying to get my schedule and figuring out when I'm doing what I'm doing. So thank you guys for watching, tuning in, like, subscribe, and share, and comment below of what you guys are interested in looking at. Not so much crypto wise, but more global types of things. And crypto too. All right, guys. I will talk to you guys soon. Like, subscribe, and share.